Please keep your bags and personal belongings with you at all times. If you see something that doesn't look right, report it to a member of staff or text the police on 61016. See it, say it, sort it.
Board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout.
This train terminates
I
at
am starting off
We will be calling at Arlesey, Hitchin, Stevenage,
of sing.
Finsbury Park,
And
London St
today
Pancras International,
I'm going to say
Farringdon, City Thameslink,
it's about some
London
games which
Blackfriars,
I did
London
recently
Bridge,
play.
East Croydon,
I've
Coulston
been
South,
testing some games
Woolston,
with my friend
Red
Alan
Hill,
Paul.
Hawley,
Alan Paul, as I
Gatwick
said
Airport,
yesterday, is not
Three
special
Bridges,
at all.
Crawley,
Board
Highfield,
games is
Faygate,
what I'm talking
Little
about.
Haven,
Board
and
games.
Horsham.
I'm not gonna shout. So, yes, hello and good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I hope that you're generally well. And yes, busy beats and briefer blether is what this is all about. So, I'm going to talk a wee bit. I'm on a train currently. I'm heading back to London. I'm going to talk a wee bit about the games we playtested. I'm going to talk a wee bit about the games we played yesterday, a lovely walk, and other stuff like that. Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, living life and playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. So, yesterday we were going to go for a walk in the morning. It was really horrible weather. It was drizzling, it wasn't great. So, Alan and I, well, I did the stream. Alan and I chatted about Circle of Doom, as it's currently being called. It used to be called Yo Dog, I heard you like moving gnomes, to move a gnome, to move a gnome, to move a gnome, to maybe remove a tile. And that kind of tells you what it's about. So you move a piece to move a piece to move a piece. And then the final piece and the penultimate piece, if they're matching, they remove a tile. We talked about the cards. That was the final bit that we were playing around with. We were thinking, okay, there's one for each of the characters that moves 0, one for each of the characters that moves 2 extra, one for each of the characters that moves backwards, and these are special cards that you can activate once in the entire game, and you get 3 of them. And then, but at the time I had something really interesting with the Hunter, which was flipping 2 of the tiles around. And we thought, well, could we keep a pattern going? Could you flip tiles around for the first character, which is going to be the navigator? Could you flip the steering wheel over? We tried that, but then having all the arrows pointing inwards versus having all the arrows pointing outwards, if you think about it, it's actually functionally the same. It's presented totally differently, but functionally, all the same 8 arrows in the exact same order, and the order is the only thing that matters. So it doesn't actually have any permanent effect. So it was really weird. And hello, Jess. It is lovely to see you. I hope that you're General Jessica Jane Sankey. Charlie and Alan have sent me home. Oh, Charlie and Lola. I am on the way back to London. So yes, Alan and I pondered a new steering wheel, so to speak. We alternated the arrows, and that was a real brain burner. It was so much more difficult, but it was interesting. But yeah, so we thought about, okay, this could be interesting. could we have alternate steering wheels? And then later on, we tried to totally different versions, and I, yeah, we decided this is a really good advanced mode, but normally it's just something in there for people who've already played quite a bit. That was definitely one of my recent highlights. Talking about other people's recent highlights, Jess says you keep playing Yahtzee a lot. Mainly I win. Well, congratulations, Jess. And of course, this is the train. I assume that you're just messing me around. But congratulations on your Yahtzee victories. And what else did we play? We we played two of the LDEC games. We played Pushable, which is a 90-second word game, which is you're trying to collect cards to make words, and every letter that you get in your word is points, but then every card you collect that you don't use in your word is negative points. So it's kind of take as many cards as you can actually use. That's really interesting. That's one of the contest entries. Now the other LDEC game we played was Squabble, which is all about putting pictures that are one above or one below other cards. Anna and Charlie weren't so keen on that one. We played those two games, and then after a delightful walk, maybe 2.5 hours in the fields, we came back. We played some route. We had the Cats again versus the Woodsland Alliance versus the Birds. Alan won once more, although it was so close. There was one turn in it. And then we played No Thanks, a lovely game about saying, no, I don't want that card. So you can force them to pay money essentially to not take the card. It's obviously fake money, it's just red chips, but that's a really interesting part of the game. It's like, are you going to take it just to spite me? Or are you going to do what's good for you personally and just pay these red chips to not take the card? And then we played a game called Beer and Pretzels, which is literally you put a string on the floor, you fold your spear mats into the middle, and if the beer mats remain visible at the end of the round, you get that many points. It's really fun game, Beer and Pretzels. And then at the end, you've got a napkin poster which you put on to cover other people's posters. So it's about throwing them, getting them into the center, into the circle string, but also getting your coasters to cover other people's coasters. So it's really interesting. That was a fun, ridiculous game, and we played that last one 3 times. And so those were all my highlights, just playing games, having lots of fun. Um, Jess, yesterday I was knee deep in mud, planting mangroves. Let's have a mud fight at the mangroves, says Jess. We can plant 100 mangroves and roll in mud and have a mud fight, although it's actually clay. I mean, that does sound like a recent highlight. Congratulations. Also, a lot of litter picking, wonderful. And bird watching. A real life kingfisher, lots of herons and mudbirds with big beaks. It was like Q-birds. Oh, I saw a heron as well, like walking around the lakes. And as I said, we walked around for a couple 2.5 hours, and there were all sorts of things. And hello, Yoda. Um, yes, Spiel 2021. It did just finish. I believe there were 97,000 people there. That's kind of mind-boggling. And yeah, I saw lots of pictures on the Spiel Instagram. That was fantastic. But congratulations. What was your recent highlight at Spiel? I understand, Dutch Yoda, hello, and I understand you were um, demonstrating for Portal Games. I hope it was a good day for you. I mean, a good weekend, a good 4 days, a good whole bunch of days. But yeah, I'd, I was hoping to see more pictures of these was disappointing. Yoda says the best thing was meeting so many lovely people. That does sound fantastic indeed. Now, if anyone has any questionably quick questions, that's the next section. Not an interrogation, but a question would be a quick question section. And if you have any questionably quick questions, then feel free to ask them. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about a brilliant thing. Brilliant thing, what's a little thing which is brilliant? I'm going to say that a brilliant thing is public transport. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't always need to govern our own transport. I mean, imagine if everyone were in charge of just making their own way to places. That would be horribly inefficient. I mean, I guess ultimately you'd probably get some small community saying, okay, let's do some carpooling or something. But, being able to go somewhere and say, hey, I want to get on to go to another country or go to another city or whatever, but you don't need to navigate your own way there. You get someone else to do all the driving, and yeah, it's amazing. And it's environmentally efficient rather than everyone on this train being in cars. That's pretty brilliant. So yeah, public transport. Imagine if it didn't exist. What a world that would be. Jess says she ate the Haribo from the gynecologist, even though he said no sugar. A brilliant thing is the female reproductive system. It's how we're born, and people should talk about it more. And Jess agrees regarding public transport. Cool. So, yeah, I didn't really have anything else to majorly talk about. It's not like I've been to Essen and done amazing things, but yeah, just the nature of how modular does a game need to be entertaining, the nature of in-the-box expansions, and that's just something that I'm wondering, because in my own game, Circle of Doom, that I was working on with Alan and Paul, it feels like the primary purpose, the primary objective of a game designer should be to get the best first play experience possible. It doesn't matter if there's 9 billion different setups if half of them are, if a whole bunch, if like 10% of them are bad. Maybe you're better off with like one starting setup saying this is good. Like, show off the game in the best possible way to start off with. And variable setup is definitely, variable setup can be a trap. Thank you, Jess. I do appreciate the comments on my nails. And since Hyde's being nice like Essen, well, I would say they are in very, very, very different ways. But let me start wrapping up, and I will ask over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. So yes, what are you up to? Are you up to something fun and frivolous, or super serious? I have a couple of meetings today. I am going to be chatting with Spin Master to see if they like either of the party games that I believe are a little bit more done. I'm going to be writing a whole bunch of rules for the contest entries for the L deck. I've written a couple. There's about 8 more to go. I think there's 10 good quality games this year that I'm going to share with everyone soon. And yeah, I'll have a wee bit of time with Layla. We might go for a walk. We might play something very light. That is what we're up to. What are you up to?
This station is.
Jess is drinking fake coffee and relaxing. Played Yahtzee, watched Love on the Spectrum, which is apparently a recommended show. It can be a tearjerker though, in a good way.
International, Farringdon, City
And
Thameslink, London Blackfriars, London Bridge,
I do.
East Croydon,
Yeah, like
Coulston South, Merstham, Red Hill, Whalley, Gatwick Airport, Three Bridges, Crawley, Highfield, Faygate, Littlehaven, and Horsham.
So yes, if you want to get on the same train as me, I guess you can. But ultimately, I'm looking forward to the day. I'm looking forward to getting some Eldeck stuff done. I'm looking forward to getting a bunch of wee whimsical creatures sent out on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to, yeah, tidying up and making things. I'm looking forward to making things ready to move into my new place. And that is generally what I'm up to. Um, well, Jess, I am glad that you enjoyed the train announcement. And sure, if you want to see me, then absolutely um, easy. Just says, let's go on the train and cycle places and feel the cold air. Oh, Bangkok is a crazy cold 22 degrees. That's freezing for Bangkok. It's so fresh and cool. Well, I hope you enjoy it. That does sound lovely. It has been nice to have this wee briefer, busy blether. I've chatted about a bunch of games. I think that, yeah, Circle of Doom. I'm happy with where it's going. And I was really impressed with how a couple of the new steering wheels, as we call them, like the first place where you move a person, it changes the game so massive with very minimal rule change. There might just be, hey, try this as. I'm happy to have realized that wildcards seem to be the way to go in pushable. In Squabble, Charlie didn't like it at all, but and Alan wasn't super keen on it. That is definitely a red flag. But it doesn't have to be everyone's game. Charlie, maybe not so much. No thanks, Charlie had terrible luck. I love that game. It's very vicious and it feels like a real experience, even though it's so short and the rules are so simple. That is one of my favourite designs for sure. No thanks, such a wonderful game. Beer and pretzels, just the joyous affair. Like getting your things on the outskirts of the string, getting it somewhere where, or trying to aim to cover other people's things. There's actually more to it than it seems. And yeah, just we talked about walking around and public transport, and if you mentioned, gave the shouts out to the female reproductive system, and all sorts. So for now, it's been a lovely. If you want to check me out, I am Stuff by Beds everywhere. I'm going to be streaming at 10 a.m. UK time tomorrow and the day after, and blah blah blah. Saturday, I do have a special guest. Saturday, I've got someone who wrote Pandemic um, Case Patient Zero. That special guest who's written a book based on a board game, and it's super exciting to have them on. Share, spread the word. I want to say thank you very much, everyone. And for now, lots and lots and lots of love. Um, the only thing left to say, I guess, really is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, bye, bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, Jess. And have a lovely time in Bangkok. Bye, bye, Yoda. And I hope you all have a wonderful time. Um, and yeah, lots of love. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.